one, you know him from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. One of the best trilogies in horror movie.
Agree.
Right inside there, 3, 4, and 5. It's like the Dream Warrior saga, as I like to call it.
The Dream section, man. You got Dream Masters, Dream Children, Dream Warriors, every version of dreams you could fathom.
And he has one of the best death scenes on a motorcycle.
Amazing.
He played Dan in the movie, and this is Mr. Danny Hassel. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thank you so much for being here, Danny.
You were talking about we saw the trailer for Reunion to Hell 2, and you said you were working on a new movie.
Right before Reunion of Hell, I met with a director in Northern California. His name was Rene Perez. Really cool guy. He's not very popular, like mainstream popular, but he's not really trying to go to Hollywood. He's not desperate, right. But he does really good, cool stories. He's an awesome director, really like a cool guy. And so he from a friend to friend, called me, told me about this movie he was doing. It's a vampire movie. And I was like, cool, I'm game, let's do it, And then I went up to NorCal and filmed it, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's like, high quality. It's still low budget, but it looked killer, I think. I thought it came out, looked cool, and it's like I had a fight scene, and it's like what is it called? I look cool in the movie, you know what I mean? Like not
always helpful.
Yeah. It came out like I was supposed to be a commando, but I worked for a vampire basically. This vampire chick. We go to Afghanistan. We didn't know she was a vampire. We try to kill her. That's the backstory. And then she kills us all except me. She gives me some of her blood. Now I work for her. And so there's like a storyline that goes along with that. So I basically work for a vampire, and I'm kind of like, I live off vampire blood, or I did somehow. So now I'm pretty like this badass dude or whatever.
Nice.
And then I have a fight scene, and that's the first time I ever did a real fight scene in a movie.
Awesome. How was that?
It was. You're really like farther away from your guys than you think, And it's a monster. I'm fighting a monster, and he has a mask on, and I know the guy. We're really excited to be working on the movie together, so we're like, jazzed up, We finally get to do like little kids, like we're gonna punch each other, throw each other on the ground, and so it was just super easy, like punch, block. But we got super excited, and he has the mask on. He got really close to me, and I just bonked out right in the face, and you don't have to be that close at all. So and then it looked terrible because like as I hit him, I'm like, I'm so sorry, you know what I mean? I wasn't like, I finished the punch, I stop and like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. But that was just that movie's called Nightfall. And who knows what's ever going to happen to it? Because, like I said, the guy, it's off into distribution now, and it's out of the director's hands. So I don't know what's going to happen. You'll probably see it at Walmart someday. Hey, there's that movie you're talking about. It'll get distribution.
We watched a good friend of ours made a movie. We actually became friends with him during distribution of his movie,
right.
Horror film he made last year, interviewing and such, and it's blown up through streaming.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
it's really cool. That's why he's kind of, not that he's anti-Hollywood or whatever, but he's just anti-jumping on the bandwagon and trying to get that big buck. He does his 3 movies a year. He's happy. He doesn't want people beating on his door. And so he's real, I don't know, just humble and not like trying to sell. You know what I mean? Like most movies are like over the top and everybody's trying to get more followers. And hey, watch my stuff.
As opposed to good quality content.
Yeah, he was more like that. The guy's like an actual real artist too. He's like an ex-musician. He did the soundtrack. He's just rad dude. Cool. So it was really fun to work with him. And then right after that, Hayden Newman is a director actor also who did Reunion from Hell 1. And I was at Tidewater Horror Convention in I think it's
Virginia, right?
Virginia, Norfolk. It was in Norfolk. Okay. Where I didn't know Hayden from anybody. He's just some guy I know that did a movie. Oh, hey, he's a director. Hi. And we just had his booth was here and mine was here. That's how we met. It wasn't like, and we ended up BSing, throughout. Hey, dude, what's up? Cool. And then he's like, hey. And then later on, we talked about his movie, and then next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I want to write you into this movie called Reunion from Hell 2. So I got to do that movie right after that, and that's I don't know, you'll hear about that someday too.
Well, definitely. Like we saw the trailer, looks cool.
Right, Hayden's here as well, so I haven't seen him yet. I'm pretty excited to see him.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, we'd love to talk to him too. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you connected on that movie with Lisa Wilcox.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. That was the whole big. Well, what was really cool is not only was it Lisa and myself, the first time we've been on a set together in a while, and Mark Patton from Nightmare on Elm Street too. So it was like this big Nightmare on Elm Street, reunion. Not really a reunion, but kind of,
Yeah,
so Nightmare on Elm Street family. Anytime you see anybody in the Nightmare on Elm Street world, you're pretty excited.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was fun. It was that part made it like I don't know. It was like maybe we're gonna go. Hey man, we're gonna go. Record an album, but really we're gonna make a movie. Same thing. We just went up in the Tennessee Smoky Mountains and like made a movie with everybody.
That's awesome.
So that's what we did. It was fun. Yeah. So working with Lisa was pretty easy because we know each other and we're good friends and have a really unique relationship because we're part of the Elm Street franchise. So that puts us in really kind of a neat group. I guess.
Very rarefied air.
I always tell people all the time. Freddy, we always get Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. Because people to this day come up and go, hey, this is my buddy. He's in Friday the 13th. I don't know Elm Street, bro. Whatever, they're all saying, but
they are not.
That is completely wrong. No, they are not. Exactly. So, but we are grouped into the 80s horror, genre or whatever you call it. But Jason and Michael Myers have killed like 400 people or whatever. Like it's like shit ton. I didn't realize that. Freddy's only killed like 40 or something.
Yeah, really low.
Yeah. So I was like, hell yeah, we're so rare because I've been killed by. That's what I'm immortalized in pop culture because I was killed by Freddy Krueger.
One of the best.
One of the best. It was amazing.
As far as death scenes, I'm always in the top 5.
No, I'd say so. Absolutely.
So when we were prepping and we're learning everything about it, we rewatched the movies because I love the trilogy. I love Dream Warriors, Dream Master.
Oh, me too. Well, I always, not because I'm in it, because it actually has continuity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The other ones are just like,
Freddy all about, and then it kind of connects in different ways.
Right.
But they're all different. But like at least that's like you got this trilogy that follows these characters.
I think so too. That's what I always tell people if they don't know, because what's really weird about this franchise is like teenagers are watching it. Not because it's scary. I guess when you're older and you like discover like an old rock album and like, hey, Led Zeppelin, and you're like 30, you know what I mean? Big Dead, right? Their music's like 40 years old. Hey, you guys heard of Led Zeppelin? They're really good.
I just got this DVD of a live concert.
Oh my God!
But I was going like, I was like late 20s. I'm like, dude, you're kind of late to the party. Pretty good. So no, but that's what, I guess it's been kicking around out there for so long. So now like young people like. Teenagers, they watch them and they like them. It's like a guilty pleasure or something. Like, oh, check out this corny. It's not corny, but it is. This old horror film that's actually, it's like, yeah, it's a trip because not that I'm like this director that I did the movie in NorCal. He's done big movies with big, movie stars. I don't want to drop names or whatever, but way bigger than me. And but when I got to his house, we went to have dinner one time, and the kids came out and were just like. They were into it. They wanted autographs. They were giving me gifts. And he goes, dude, I've had huge movie stars, and they didn't give a shit. He goes, you come over here, and they go gaga for you, and they're teenagers. And I'm like, yeah.
You're killed by Freddy Krueger.
That's it.
You became one with a motorcycle, bro.
Oh, my God. That's it. Because
I had a kid the other day. No kidding, though. They're like, they showed the kid the movie, and they were like 13, 14-year-old. And the kid was like, hey, cool movie. And I go, all right, kid, you were like not even close to being born when that movie came out. They were right on. The fact that they even knew,
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun.
And it's because of the death scene. That's what to bring it back. Because people remember that. They're like, motorcycle dude, motorcycle guy. Yeah.
But you're the central character in the
I was in the, it's pretty rare. There's a few of us also that got to be in 2 of them. Me, Ron Eastman, Kenny. Just like the trilogy group got to actually be in one and then usually die first in the next one.
You are that catalyst in the next one. When you make the credits at the end and you're alive, the next one you're like, I'm the catalyst. So with doing like at that time, I can't even imagine in the 80s, you're young, you're in this huge franchise,
right?
And you're going to be the central character in it. What's it like riding that kind of that storm?
To be honest, we didn't know. You got Nightmare 3 still hadn't exploded. It kind of was like it wasn't big like it is now. It's almost bigger now. It seems bigger than it was, I guess, because Nightmare 3 had kind of died off, and then but nobody knew that Nightmare 4. To be honest, I mean, we knew we were part of. Okay, this is you know, we're part of a franchise, yes. No one knew it was going to explode, like, #1, you know what I mean, for like 8 weeks and lines around the corner and all that crap. Nobody had any idea. I'm not kidding. They were like, you know, it was like a roll of the dice, and it was just timing, and then like, it was more fun, I want to say. Like, it was scary, obviously, to kids. Freddy's scary, you know what I mean? Like, totally, like, boogeyman shit. But, like, once you get to a certain age where you don't, you know, like, jump scares in movies and things like that, that's what, or stuff, whatever I have to do with it. But, you know, those kind of tricks in horror movies, that's what people wanted to see. And the comedy of Freddy. Freddy became like a cartoon character that before, you know, I always make a joke that, like, he should have coined the phrase where they lower the voice and go, bitch, you know, because it's like everything after Robert Englund did bitch. It's like on everywhere I hear it now. All right, bitch. Morty, all right, bitch. Oh, that's full Robert Englund, man. So like, it made me laugh. Like, so anyhow, that's like, but the beginning of the movies, that you didn't see him. You saw like in the shadows and this creepy burnt guy, and he would say like, "Yeah, bitch" or something. That's it. You know, you wouldn't ever see Robert. By the time 4 came around, we were on the scene. He's like in the daylight, putting glasses on. You know, like more Freddy. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a boogeyman so much. It was more like this character. You know,
he kind of turned into that Bugs Bunny that murdered.
Yeah, dude, I know it's a weird thing, but for real, that's it. Like, this crazy child molesting axe murder dude that people love.
Yeah. Big fan of him.
Right, big fan. Love the guy. You know,
victims now. We're getting down a dozen. It's for real.
That's what it was. And then and that's like kind of when it peaked. I mean, not the movie and Robert. It was a great mix. It was like Robert was funny, and you know, he had a bunch of great one-liners and the death scenes, and the story, you know, was pretty good. So then, you know, like #4 just exploded. That was like so. And then as far as like dealing with it, like we didn't have social media like we have now. You know, we went to a couple of premieres and all that, and then you know, you're not in front of. We didn't have Instagram or Facebook, and you know, and so you were like, oh, I guess people like it, and then you know. I wasn't getting those big checks like the producers were. We saw the lines, but it wasn't good. The money wasn't going in our pockets. We're still like, hey, I still need a job over here. It's back to waiting tables. All right. There were times like that because it kind of peaked and then went down, you know? Like when people were like, get that Freddy shit or you know, because like, Nightmare 5 didn't do so well, and then there was like a series and all this stuff going on. It was lunch pails, Freddy beach towels, you know what I mean? It was like, it was full on.
Oh my God,
Freddy diapers, but I'm not kidding. It was like that. It went commercial, you know, and it kind of just made it go down a bit, you know. So then like there was a while where I remember I was at a CD place. It's like CDs, DVDs, everything. You know, obviously you can get music different ways now. This is like a gymnasium, so like NC State, huge, and it's full of records and CDs, and posters, and all this stuff. It's in Seattle. I'm going through, you know, looking at all this stuff, and there's this huge bargain bin of DVDs, which is like DVDs people don't buy anymore.
Right.
What are those? You know what I mean? Yeah. But so there's
we do. Like,
we do.
Exactly.
It smells like old wood. It's just all it's like a big garage. You know, that's all. Sitting there looking at shit. And killer posters. You know, you're like, whoa, look at that one. But yeah, so I go in the bargain bin and I was like, no, I had $2.99 Nightmare on Elm Street. It might have even been 99 cents. I don't know. But it was in there. It was brand new. I was like, I'm buying this shit.
You should buy it.
And then there was like people in there. I'm like, I'm in this movie. And like, this fucking crazy guy. Thinks he's in this fucking movie.
You buy like the 20 copies in there. You buy like the 20 copies in there for like $3, and then you go outside, sign them, and sell them for $4. You go. It's great that you mentioned that, and you were talking about. We were looking at your IMDb page, and you've been on some of our favorite TV shows.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on.
One that we had Michael Perry on the show a while back.
Oh no way!
And
Speaking
mentioned
of Michael
him.
Paré, he's one of the big stars that this director works with a lot.
Oh,
Isn't that weird? We
nice.
have a
That's awesome.
weird-
Yeah, and you have that
crazy.
connection.
No, well, he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he goes, you ever heard of Michael Paré? I go, Dano.
Yeah.
I did a series with the guy. You know what I mean? Like, and then, because, then he's a big deal. Michael Paré's a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's crazy that we, like, years later, that we crossed paths again. It's funny, you know?
That's
Out of
awesome,
all
you
the
know?
people that I could have crossed paths
Right.
with, someone that actually did a show with.
Yeah, but we were talking to him, and he was telling a story about Michael Beck when he was living in New York, and Michael Beck was filming The Warriors.
Okay.
And they were friends, and they had just met, and he's like, "Hey, I'm filming this movie or whatever," and they were talking about, and then they wound up being on, and I go, and then you both wound up being on Houston Nights, and he stops, pauses, and goes, "How the hell do you know what Houston Nights is?"
Right, because they didn't.
So when I saw you were on the show, I'm like, "This is Houston Nights."
No one knows. It's like it was like one series lasted like 8 series shows. I don't know. No, it's out there, or but it did last. It was a series. Called Houston
This is a
Nights.
good show. I like that.
And it was with freaking Swan and Eddie and the Cruisers, dude. I was just like fucking starstruck for real. When I had that show, I was like, no way. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I was, I don't think I have any stills, but I blew it because I have stills from most of my school, because I was a huge Warriors fan. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so. And then I knew what Eddie and the Cruisers were, that movie as well. So when I knew that, I didn't even know that they didn't make, there's a show called, Houston Nights. And so there's my agent, by the way.
Agent passing through.
So, so it was just awesome to be on a show with two people that I was also starstruck by, or I know, kind of starstruck because I'm not really, I don't know if the word starstruck, it's more like the movies that they made, I really like, because man, the Warriors, for some of us, whether people like it or not, for some of us, when HBO and all that came, that was like, there was one rich kid on your block, or where I lived in the boonies, that had HBO, and you all went to their house and was like, dude, let's watch that. And then the Warriors was on HBO then. That was like, so that was, I watched that. We watched the crap out of it. We did. We just like repeat, we watched it. And that, and then, I always make a joke, that and those like soft porn in between the.
There's a skin match coming out.
And it's like the girls doing exercise, and the camera's like riding their crotch.
Yeah, all the whole time.
Like a little like, what's that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis almost like?
That's
the one with John Travolta.
Especially what those videos were. The chicks are like 3
The
chicks
Jane Fonda
doing
tapes or
aerobics,
something.
and cameras like from the crotch up. You know what I mean? What the fuck is this? And it was still like soothing music out there. Kids our age were like, this is straight porn, dude. Like, soft porn. It was so weird.
It was fantastic. That's like Tchaikovsky and Bucks.
It's so weird. So,
now you're doing the convention circuit. You talked about Tidewater here at Carolina Fear Fest. How do you like it so far? It's your first time here, right?
I like it. I love it. Anytime I see people at the airport with a sign with my name on it, I know it's going to be a good show.
Right. That's a strong start.
When you're at least, no, man. I have a funny story. I shouldn't tell it because I don't want to. Anyhow, I assumed this guy was a driver, and he wasn't a driver, and it was the funniest story all weekend long because he ended up giving me a ride, but he was giving another actor who was a bigger actor. He was more starstruck with that actor, and was like, "Sure, I'll give you a ride to the convention." And I'm kind of like, "Well, cool." I was like, I didn't make him get my luggage or anything. I just assumed, And then he's like, "Oh, I don't know, dude. Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So the rest of the weekend, he was kind of like. I think he got over it. But
Well, you're more than welcome. If you need a ride, you'll give me a ride.
Dude, I was like, I'm sure there's someone going to pick me up. I didn't mean to assume you had a nice car and shit. I was like, dude, I thought you were taking the other
I have a minivan, so you got to deal with that.
No, I didn't even get. Usually, that's why I didn't actually. That usually, let's be honest, it's. Even if it is a good convention, you get it's a volunteer. I'm looking for the person with purple hair and a Quran shirt. There they are. And then if they have my sign, I don't care if they got a bucket. You're like, let's go. Let's get in the car and let's go.
It's awesome.
No, so it's so far so good, man. Nothing like, and then there was a swag bag in my room, and it was
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, this is our second year doing it. We run all of the live streams, panels, all that jazz. So it's so much fun to talk to you guys and really learn about what you're doing, what's going on, and being at the convention. I think
nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're gonna have a great time this week.